What is up, Whale family? This is Nytmare bringing you Hang Time, where we talk NBA Top Shot, the market, fantasy basketball, and all things hoops and hype. And boy, am I hyped today after that amazing town hall we had with Whale Shark and the entire Whale team, which, as you guys have seen, has expanded significantly, along with one of our own Top Shot community members that was an active participant in some of the things we had done earlier in the year. So you guys can take a look at the org charts, figure out who exactly that is, but we are excited to have everybody on board and part of what we're going to do moving forward. But to NBA Top Shot and what's going on in the market right now, lots of excitement there as well. Before we get on with that, I do have to say, after me mentioning the Summer League and kind of building that up, the Celtics got absolutely waxed in the championship game, so they embarrassed me there. But it is Summer League. That being said, my Peyton Pritchard that I had kind of boasted about there, my only 4-badge rookie that I have because it was reasonable cost, has escalated and gone up in value since. So despite him putting a goose egg relatively, you know what? I shouldn't say a goose egg. I think he had like 15 points, but it seems like a goose egg compared to the 92 or whatever it is that he put up in the Portland league that he was playing in. But Peyton, keep going up. I like that your value is continuing to escalate. You're my dark horse for a very valuable Top Shot moment at some point. But relative to Top Shot and the market, let's take a look at what we see here. And it's indicative of what we've seen for a few weeks. We're continuing to see the dollar volume remain elevated in the market while the transaction volumes are relatively flat, still around that 20,000 transaction range. So what does that say? It means that the market cap increase is still relative to the perceived value of NBA Top Shot moments and what it can be. People have confidence once again in this market, in this product, and I'm sure that has confluence with the greater NFT market, which we've seen explode upward again in recent weeks, as well as the market sentiment in general as it relates to crypto, with ETH and even Bitcoin breaching $50,000. Obviously not a direct influence on anything here because we're pricing in ETH oftentimes with NFTs and things of that nature. But when people think that there's greater health in these investment opportunities, a lot of people jump in. And so if they had money on the sideline, that's what's happening. I do hear a reference right here about jumping in, or I see it rather in the chat. DC, what are you talking about, my man? It just started. You know what? I have to blame once again the infrastructure here. We're working on getting some help, someone that can do the things that DC has a lot of trouble with when he hasn't had his vitamins in the morning. But that being said, maybe I'll run it from the top. Since evidently DC didn't catch it, I want to make sure that we're inclusive of everybody of all abilities in this community. So DC, this is for you. We'll start once again because I know that some of our fans actually enjoy the intro. So, what is up, Whale family? This is Nytmare bringing you Hang Time, where we talk NBA Top Shot, the market, fantasy basketball, and all things hoops and hype. I had mentioned earlier, I am very hype coming off of that amazing town hall that we just had, where we actually indoctrinated a member of our Top Shot community directly into our team to work with what we're building here. So you guys could check that out. If you weren't there for it live, it is posted on our YouTube, and you can look at the org chart and see who from our Top Shot community is now working actively as part of Whale and what we do. But really quick, before we get into the market once again, Summer League, the Celtics got absolutely waxed. Have to call attention to it after kind of talking it up a little bit in our last episode. But that being said, my Peyton Pritchard has continued to go up in value since then. So despite him only putting up 15 points or so after dropping 92 in the Portland League, he came through with value for me in my Top Shot moment. So maybe that's a dark horse for someday being of significant value as a 4-badge rookie. But on to the actual market. What we're seeing here is the dollar volume remains high while the transaction volume remains relatively flat. So the perceived value of these NBA Top Shot moments continues to be rebounding and people having confidence in the product that it'll continue to increase in value and be a wise place to try to take a chance on some NFTs or collectibles. After seeing that lull for some time and market confidence come back in, and that's in large part due to a number of factors, right? We have cryptocurrency itself rebounding with ETH and even BTC breaching some key levels with $50,000 last night. The NFT market as a whole, a lot of confidence was reinstilled with some of these avatar projects, quite honestly, leading the way, as well as gaming projects, and that's kind of trickled back down as people go down to generative art and then into real legacy OG pieces and one-of-ones and things of that nature. We even had news yesterday that Visa had jumped in and snagged a punk, right? So for some people, that's against the ethos of kind of what we're doing here. But that being said, it tells you that there is investor confidence and that NFTs are likely here to stay. So people are putting money back into Top Shot and thinking that it's of value. Are they new users? No, these are existing users for the most part that are thinking it's time to go snag some of these moments I've had my eye on, things that I think have value or will have value in the future, right? So if we take a look at the whale vault, we can see on moment ranks, we're still around that $33.5 million mark, which is good. We've sustained that bounce that we had. We're slightly up from last time. I think last time we were at 33.3. So right here, we're at 33.4. Someone had actually pointed out in the chat that if we look at evaluate markets metrics, which has a different methodology, we're back up to about $40 million here, right? So from the low, which was near 20 to about 40, a nice rebound. But for consistency's sake, I've always referenced what we have going on at moment ranks. So I want to continue to look at that, but we will pay attention to this as well, because we're still in the course of finding out exactly what methodology is going to be the most effective for us to evaluate these things, especially with the really unique portfolio we have, right? Tons of number one serials, tons of jersey numbers, and really a unique collection. So it's hard to make a direct correlation and think the same things are going to apply to a lot of different accounts that would apply to the whale vault. All of that being said, when you look at the individual series, nice jump in series one. It looked relatively flat a couple of times, and to see that much lift over the past week tells you that there's some series within it, or subsets within the series that are making some nice leaps. And we continue to see, base set 2 continue to have a nice jump as well. That's been a few consecutive weeks now. So, this is not a short-term blip. Not saying it will sustain, but certainly this was not a 1 week one-off where the market was impacted. Still the same story here relative to new users, right? We have this, subtle steps up, but really, I think we were at 537,000 users last week. So maybe we gained 2,000 users. I like to see any gain, especially compared to this total flat line here. But I would expect that at some point there's a marketing push that really ramps this up significantly. And when that happens, that's a lot of new money that comes in and is an influx into the market. Here's some other data points, relative to CryptoSlam. It shows you, on the day-to-day volume, slightly different total volume metrics, but you can see, the elevation kind of sustaining here and maybe even climbing once again, right? We may see this hit another local high over the next couple of days. And, as we had mentioned with regards to the specific sets, we can look over here at NBA Top Shot and take a look at the specific sets that had been driving it. I think this browser reset on me and now is not here. But nonetheless, you can go into our Discord, and I believe one of our community members had posted some of the specific sets that are increasing right now. And I think, and then there were 4 was one of the ones that made the most significant leaps, right? Near 20% versus where it was not long ago, as well as the playoff series, right? And I know in my personal portfolio, I had seen a nice jump in my playoff series moments. So if you had some that you were looking to sell or opportunistically may want to capitalize on, so you can get into something else you had your eye on, the playoff moments are definitely part of that you should be looking at right now. So over the past week, the Okoro quest ended. It was, a cool moment, really celebrating hops. You had to collect 4 dunks, 3 calves. Super easy to do. So easy, in fact, that I actually completed it, and I haven't been participating in many quests. So, from a marketing perspective, that tells me that, their attempts to reach out and touch maybe lapsed users or users sitting on the sideline, that was effective, right? Not that I should be the measuring stick, but certainly I'm not the most active. I'm not trying to participate in most challenges in quest only when it seems like there's some efficacy there for me, and this one certainly fit the bill. So I'll be cool to rip that with you guys and see if we get a good serial. Likewise, the all NBA showcase challenge ended, and this was interesting because you had to have 10 players from the All NBA. I think it was the first and second team. There was some pretty significant barriers there. If you didn't have some of those players and you had to scoop a Dame or a LeBron or something, you were looking at a little bit of a mountain to climb. But again, this was for 10,000 Series 2 NBA playoff packs. So not a specific moment as a reward. This was for an opportunity at PAX. So that was pretty cool. And right now, we have another one running. So this is the Vegas Summer League Challenge. If you collect the 4 moments from the series, you can get New York Knickerbocker Emmanuel Quickly. So a lot of Quickly fans that I know of that are very vocal on Twitter. I'm sure they're looking to scoop this and be able to bring this one home. So this is active. I believe you have a little bit less than a day to complete this. So if you hadn't taken a look, go ahead, look at the market, see if it's something you want to do. You have about a day to complete that. Also, we saw kind of an unexpected stress test drop on Friday, August 20th. I say unexpected because I wasn't anticipating it. And actually, when I saw it, it had already been bumped because of, inevitably there's issues leading up to some of these stress tests, hence why they're a stress test. That being said, with it bumped and the start time pushed back, I saw it about 40 minutes after it went live, and I was still able to get into the queue and score a pack. So I think I was initially 5,000 places outside of the number of packs. And for whatever reason, that very quickly closed. That gap closed, and I was able to get in. So I don't know if people were timing out or had some frustration having, been bumped in the timing shift or whatever. But I was fortunate enough to score that. We also, posted that in our community when we realized it. And I think it was kind of 50-50. About half of you guys were able to snag a pack despite the late jump into the queue, and a couple were not. So I'll rip that with you guys as well. And since some of you weren't able to get into the queue, I think I'll reserve the last moment there. We'll do a giveaway. I think I'll throw up a Jobu GIF, and if you guys put a Jobu emoji on it, I will take those names, put it onto the wheel of death, spin it, and give whoever comes out the. I will give them the moment that we get from the last pick in this pack. So I hope for you guys, it is my absolute best serial and best player that I ever pull out of NBA Top Shot. And I can share that with you guys. That would be super cool. So what's next? We don't know. Obviously, we're all waiting for a run it back set. That'll be super cool. Rumors of Shaq, of Allen Iverson, a lot of players that I grew up enjoying watching. Although you can go beyond that further back and forward, and I still could tell you I enjoyed people from that period. So either way, it will be fun. Run it back, I'm sure, is being highly anticipated by collectors, even on the sideline, because that pulls in new eyeballs, people that are fans of some legacy teams and legacy players. I did want to talk really quickly about the Whale DAO. We had talked on office hour, or rather whale hour, about what the next steps would be. It was for me to put together a methodology and present it to Whale Shark to be able to execute. I have 3 possible ways that we could do this, and it's going to be a matter of what the team is comfortable with. Probably least on there is handing me the keys to $40 million worth of asset and saying good luck, and the most regimented would be giving a set of instructions to Whale Shark and telling him to take care of it. So between our committee, I think the most likely scenario is we set the committee to give me what we should go after on a very cadenced schedule. And I set a schedule with Whale Shark that on day X, we both can be available, try to use the 2FA effectively to get things done. And we'll have that templated. like in a form of some sort that I'd have some drafts on and been crafting. But we'll have our committee, and they will be able to kind of finalize that. And I'm excited that we've had the opportunity to put some of this stuff in you guys' hands to really shape what we're doing here in the community and the next iteration of it. Because as you can see, we're expanding. As we talked about in the town hall, we're going to be doing more gamification of things, particularly in this community where we're really into collectibles and sports. I want to expand that out beyond basketball. Football's on deck. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But anything I can do for you guys to really enrich what we do here, I will definitely be doing. One cool thing of the past couple of days, and you guys pointed this out as well, the Orlando Magic using the NBA Top Shot aesthetic for some social marketing. It almost looks like there's actually a pack drop, but what it is they're talking about the schedule, some marquee matchups that were highlighted on the schedule, and they're doing it in a clever way where you'd have to really look at this to understand this is just them calling out the games themselves. When I look at this, I think it's cool, although to be honest, it is not as thorough and clean as a possible integration than what the the Las Vegas Raiders did, right? So we've been talking about this quite a few times. We showed it long ago, but this is a near perfect mimic of what happens in NBA Top Shot. And I would be absolutely surprised if this did not have literally the assets from NBA Top Shot. This is just too perfect in all ways, right? So maybe there's a proof of concept that they had done, an MVP of sorts. Maybe they were doing something relative to possibilities with the NFL. So that still gets me excited every time I have a reason to reference that. And obviously seeing this made me think of this and the upcoming NFL season. But before we get to NFL, let's talk real quick. We've been talking about this in the chat. Topps got dropped, absolutely dropped by Major League Baseball. They decided to cut a deal with Fanatics. There's a lot of big money involved. Fanatics also has a deal in play with the NBA and the NBA Players Association, taking that away from Panini. So Topps will be out as a trading card partner for Major League Baseball, one of the longest standing, longest associated relationships you can think of in the sports collectible scene. So this is absolutely massive. They had an IPO that was scheduled and that obviously got pulled. They were messing with the platform that they were on relative to Wax, and now Wax was announced to be listed on Binance. So a tough run of it right now for Topps. I think they still have some other assets, right? Bazooka, Bubblegum, and things of that nature. But, if anyone works for Topps or with Topps, wishing you the best of luck. This is obviously a seismic shift in the collectibles industry, rather. And what this means relative to the NFTs, I'm not really certain, especially with the fact that this agreement does not run out and the new one take place for a few years, I think, right? At least 2025, 2026. So we're not looking at something imminently changing, at least to the best of my knowledge, but certainly it's something to keep your eye on because they may shift and change strategies. Also wanted to make mention, I did notice here that the folks over at Own the Moment were coming out with their own fantasy football project. Not privy to all of the details. It seems like by collecting NFTs, you can participate in a community there where they're going to have various gamification of fantasy football. Not sure on what that is. I think they're revealing more of it later tonight or in the coming days, actually. So if you're interested in that, you can go ahead and take a look. And then on a related note, Whale, NFL, gamification, coming soon. Our community has been actively talking about this. Our committee has been hashing out the specifics. And I actually had gone in thinking we're going to put together just one one fantasy element or one pick'em league or something of that nature, and they've come forward with their proposal to have multiple things running, right? So I think you're really going to like what we're going to come out with. A lot of opportunity to participate at whatever level you're comfortable with, whether you're a casual NFL fan or you really want to get into the stats and kind of learn the basics of how you look at fantasy and how that relates to the Swish League coming down the road. There'll be opportunities for you. So couple of different formats, lots of whale to give away for prizes. We'll have probably this week the official word on that and how to sign up, but I'm really excited about what the guys have put together to bring and share with the community, and looking forward to busting chops, quite honestly, when people like DC put their picks in and inevitably fail, right? That'll be funny and fun to talk about. What else did I want to do with you guys? I think it had to do with packs. So let's go ahead and rip them while we have the opportunity here. And again, on the base set pack, the last moment will be going to someone in the community. Let's go for a good cereal. $20,596. That is not a good cereal. I will put that at, like, I don't know, Honey Smacks. This is a generic cereal. This is like Cinnamon Toast Munch. But I am still happy to get the moment. Let's rip this base set pack. All right, I want to give away the last moment that we rip here to you guys. I'm going to throw a Joe Boo into the chat. If you are on the Discord, check out the Stream Text channel. If you're not on the Discord, I don't know what's wrong with you. You should hop onto the Discord because we do a lot of cool giveaways and interactions like this. So in Stream Text, I will put a Joe Boo. Everybody that answers and puts an emoji on the Joe Boo, click the Joe Boo emoji or put the first one if you are the first one to do anything with it. Everyone that has a role, meaning dolphin, shark, or whale, has an opportunity to win the last moment. So I'm going to go ahead and throw Joe Boo in there. Joe Boo is mysteriously staring into space at us. I do not want a thumbs up. I need a Joe Boo emoji to qualify this. Put a Joe Boo emoji on this. Click the Joe Boo emoji. You must have a role. And I will spin the wheel. All right, first moment. Okay. I actually like this moment a lot. Just from a highlight perspective. That looks like me when DC tries to take it to the hole. Little scoop shot, a little up and under. All right, guys. I think between those two tickets, I think right now, I think we got something great coming to you guys. This is the community's moment. Bowl. Not bad. I mean, he's no Taco Fall, but he is Bowl. And someone will be the winner and be able to relish that moment. What kind of cereal is this? This is 20,000 out of 40,000. What's a mediocre cereal? This is a Captain Crunch. This is a Captain and Crunch moment. All right, guys. Take a look at the Stream Text channel. See how we did with throwing emojis, throwing some Joe Boos on the Joe Boo. We have 15 that jumped in. A couple of Cookie Monsters, it looks like. Okay, that's a dolphin. A very happy dolphin. Do you guys have anything that you want to put on our radar, on the community's radar, that you want to talk about? It did look like Cookie Monster to me from this distance. I see Spider had mentioned football and not knowing much about it. Spider, if you were a Dolphin and wanted to participate, one thing that's cool is a couple of things that we're doing are not just traditional fantasy. That takes a lot of a lot of research and a lot of understanding of the different nuances. We're going to have some things that are really easy for making some choices and being able to participate on one night and know if you won or lost on that one night. So I want to make sure we get something that's cool for the people that are really embedded and really, understand the nuance of football, and also people that want to wade their way into the fantasy waters with us a little bit. Someone asked if I want to talk about Stripperville. I'm not sure if I want to answer that. I did want to make mention of one thing in particular to you guys. I got a couple of nice DMs from some different people in our community saying, thank you for what you do for the Top Shot community. And what I really wanted to say is, thank you guys. I love everything we do here within this sub community of whale. And I think it's so endearing to me because a lot of people came to this community because they saw the whale vault or heard about it, or they wanted to just play fantasy basketball and knew that by holding a role here, you could do that. And so many of you guys had taken from that